Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, out of the blue today, Bethesda have dropped the 2021 roadmap on us, which has got, as you can imagine, some very, very exciting information about everything coming up this year in Fallout 76. So, let's jump in and take a look at this thing. Okay then, so, shiny new roadmap, awesome. Been wondering what's coming up for the rest of the year for some time, so this is really cool to see. I do realise, by the way, that it is March at this point, but I suspect the reason for the timing on this has got more to do with Bethesda's business year and less to do with the calendar year, so that's the slightly weird launch time of it. It's usually a bit later when they drop these things, and they usually sort of extend over into the beginning of next year, so the winter portion will probably include a chunk of 2022. What year is it? As well. So that's worth bearing in mind, but nonetheless, some very, very cool new information and details, so very excited to take a look at this. So, new Inside the Vault. Welcome back to Inside the Vault. This week we are sharing a look at what's coming to Fallout 76 in 2021 with an all-new roadmap. Once you've digested that, we have an upcoming developer Ask Me Anything where you can ask your burning questions about Fallout 76. Cool, so well-timed I think on that. So, first and foremost, we have the roadmap, and it looks pretty cool. Fairly simple, fairly standard, basically similar to what we've seen before, but very, very happy to see this, very interested to see what's going on. So, let's have a look at the picture first, and we'll digest and then have a look at what they've got to say about it. So, spring, locked and loaded, we already know about this. This is the coming update due at the end of next month. So, obviously, if you want to see all the bits and pieces about that, I've covered it already. I'll link you a few videos up in the corner there so you can check those out. I know there's stuff on Daily Ops in particular. A lot of people might have missed that one, so there's a lot of new stuff in there that's worth checking out, so do take a look. So, locked and loaded. Prepare yourself for year 3 of Fallout 76 with an update focused on ways to upgrade it. Okay, slight typo. Ways to upgrade your camp and your person and your arsenal. And we've got Season 4 Armor Ace in Cold Steel up there, which is very, very cool. So I did a video on that as well. Camp slots, obviously very excited for that. Not having to scrap nice builds and things I enjoy, especially as I build a lot, is something I'm very, very much looking forward to. Speaking of, new camp video coming probably tomorrow. So, we also have special loadouts, covered that one in detail. Being able to switch your perk and your special loadouts on the fly is going to be awesome. Very much looking forward to that next month. And the Daily Ops expansion as well. Plus, crafting sliders. Tiny little thing that, but makes life so much easier when you're crafting large amounts of ammo or crafting large amounts of food or whatever. You just whip that slider over and check that out. It's very, very cool. Console aim assist. So, not sure if it is actually just for consoles or if it's anybody using a controller of this. It's currently on the PTS, so you can check it out yourself if you have Fallout 76 via Bethesda.net. But yep, aim assist is coming in. Surprised that feature is so late in arriving, but yeah, it is what it is for those who want to be able to have a little hand in snapping that crosshair to the nogging of whichever super mutant they're blasting away at. Very helpful. And camp mannequins, which are coming as part of the Season 4 update, so you'll get those from the scoreboard, along with power armor displays as well, which will allow you to display clothing, armor, and obviously power armor. So definitely worth chasing down Season 4 as well. There's very, very cool stuff in there. So, Steel Rain is coming over the summer. A bit later than we were expecting, but nonetheless, very, very cool. Looking forward to seeing the next chapter in the Brotherhood of Steel story. Little unfortunate we've got to wait for it, but, you know, it's coming, and there's a lot of stuff coming between now and then anyway, and a lot of much, much requested quality of life features and upgrades that are going to make our experience in the game a lot better, so that's really cool. So, forge the future of the Appalachian Brotherhood in the conclusion of the Brotherhood of Steel storyline. It's a conclusion. I was hoping for a third part to this, but looks like this summer part is just going to be the last part of it. But there's, from what we've seen before, it looks like there might be a couple of threads to this. There's the whole ongoing battle against the super mutants, plus the internal divisions in the Brotherhood as well. So, at least a couple of threads to that to consider. So, complete new quests, meet new NPCs, explore new locations, and earn powerful new rewards. So 2 other features we've got that are coming with this are legendary crafting. So we've already got some extent of that. You can use legendary modules to craft certain things that you buy with bullion. That's been in since Wastelanders, but obviously from the look of this that is going to get expanded, so you'll be able to craft more legendary weapons on the fly. So if you want something specific, it'll be considerably easier to get it, and you won't have to rely on the RNG quite so much, which is very, very cool. Or at least you'll be able to reduce it somewhat, which is, yeah, that's very, very welcome, very, very cool. Totally new, however, legendary power armor. That looks Like, obviously, we don't know anything about it beyond that, but we know what legendary armor is. We can imagine legendary power armor will be much the same. The big question is, you get 5 pieces on a frame with power armor. Does that mean 5 separate legendary pieces, possibly each with their own combinations of legendary effects? Or is it just one thing overall? I'm guessing it's going to be the 5 separate. That would make sense as they're individual items. But that will be very, very cool, legendary power armor. Some of the new stuff coming in is reasonably challenging, particularly with the daily ops, so a little power boost from legendary power armor will be very, very welcome. Obviously, it also means the other content might get a bit easier, so hopefully they'll accommodate that and make some of the new endgame late stuff that they're introducing going forward that bit more difficult so that they don't eliminate the challenge to the game altogether. Certainly used to be a problem prior to One Wasteland that it was frankly just too easy. One Wasteland certainly rebalanced things and made some areas of the game a bit more challenging, so hopefully they'll keep that alive despite this significant power boost that will be coming over the summer, but very, very cool. We also have Season 5, which is Escape from the 42nd Century. Interesting. It looks like there appears to be some kind of weird voodoo vibe looking at that little skull in the middle there. Well, there's also some interesting Roman numerals on the side of it, so that might possibly relate to the Brotherhood as well. It would make sense given the timing of it. But it could be a lot of things. But Escape from the 42nd Century, so obviously a time travel theme to the season that will be coming, that one as well, with that particular update as well, which is really, really cool. Looking forward to seeing more about that. I should say with Season 4 as well, that is starting next month. Season 3, not perhaps a smash hit for me at least, but Season 4 is definitely looking like a return to form. There's some really cool stuff in that. And Season's Unlimited Ranks. Ooh, I can only assume that means that once you hit rank 100, the completion of challenges will continue to be worthwhile, whereas at the moment you don't get anything for doing it, beyond perhaps the innate rewards of doing so XP and frankly anything you get from daily ops. But if unlimited ranks is a thing, I'm guessing that means there'll be more rewards coming in, perhaps the requested atoms for completing a rank, things like that, who knows? But it looks like it will make ranks valuable again to those who have already completed the scoreboard, so that's very, very cool. And from a Bethesda standpoint, it also means that it gives people more reason to play on a daily basis over a longer period, which is the idea behind Season. Keep people in, keep people playing, keep them logging in, that sort of thing. So good for the health of the game in that regard as well, so that's a good thing. So in the autumn, we have Season 6 arriving, and right now we've got a nuclear symbol with no details, so I'm guessing there's nothing to be interpreted from that, but it just says stay tuned to learn more, so maybe work in progress, maybe a bit too early to see what they're going to do with that yet. But worlds are changing. Stay tuned later this year for the next evolution of Private Worlds, which looks very, very cool. My guess, seeing as they've been working on mods for so long, is that that is going to be built in there somehow. They've been saying it's getting closer and closer for a while, and it has been quite a major project from them, from what they've said a few times. I know Jeff Gardner was talking about it at the tag end of last year as well, so that's definitely big news. That's very, very cool. So hopefully that means mods will be involved, the basis of that being into sort of folded into Private Worlds, and possibly other changes as well to make them more viable and valuable to people, so that basically they get more out of having their Fallout First membership. So very, very cool. I'll have to see what that involves and whether or not it makes it sort of worth jumping in on for me. My personal hope is control over weather and time of day. That will make building videos a lot easier to make. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So that will be coming in the autumn, so likely September, October time. And of course, along with this, we'll also be getting the next expansion to Daily Ops, so slightly quicker than the current turnaround time. Not vastly, but a little bit. But new Daily Ops, probably new locations, new mission types, maybe even new enemy types. Keeping that fresh, always welcome. And getting big again with the winter. Oh, there's some good stuff coming here. Tales from the Stars. Stars have aligned in the wasteland. Marvel at the discovery of the new legends and the reappearance of an Appalachian myth. Ooh, what might that be? So, Season 7, obviously no details on that, but that'll be coming in the winter. We'll have a look at this in a bit more detail in a minute, but it seems possible that we're going to get a 76 take on Zetans and Mothership Zeta from good old Fallout 3, and a Zetan-themed update coming at the end of the year and possibly over into next year as well. So, the follow-on from the Brotherhood of Steel stuff might be Zetan-themed, which would be really, really cool. I'd love to see that. Mothership Zeta was a unique and interesting DLC for Fallout 3. So incorporating that in and expanding on the lore of that would be very, very cool and welcome. I know a lot of people were keen for an Enclave version, which I'm sure will happen sooner or later, but definitely happy with the Zayton theme for me. That would be very, very cool. Plus, we are getting 4-star legendaries. So coupled with legendary power armor over the summer, legendary crafting, that's going to mean some serious upgrades to our power and character sort of damage output and survivability. So hopefully some, as I said before, that will mean some bump up to some of the difficulty areas as well. But we're going to have to do some major rebuilds if there's 4-star legendaries coming, but that's very cool. There's been little hints of this for, well, since the game launched. We've seen spaces for 4 and 5-star slots on items, but obviously they're not in the game at the moment. So this looks like 4 stars are coming on, and they can sort of add new content, more difficult content, and boost your power to match that as they go on. So that kind of implies the existence of 5 stars sometime in the future. Hell knows when, but that's very, very cool as a little sort of foreshadowing thing as much as a cool thing in and of itself. So awesome there. New seasonal event, The Ritual. We'll have a look at a little more detail on that in a moment, but it looks like a replacement for Mischief Night, which had its major issues running around in the White Spring and blowing stuff up. So it looks like a new seasonal Halloween-themed event, which will be very, very cool and welcome. And yeah, it was a big thing that it didn't happen last year, so definitely cool to see something new coming in there. Interested to see about that. Like the icon for it as well, that little candle, that's cool. And Invaders from Beyond, Public Challenge and Daily Ops Surprises. Ooh, Zayton-themed Daily Ops, maybe? That would be very, very cool. And it's about, it's about the right time for another Daily Op update. I'd imagine the early part of next year. Guessing that's when that's likely to land, but yeah, very, very cool. Looking forward to that, seeing that. Public Challenge. The last thing that was labelled a public challenge that we had was Fortifying Atlas, ahead of the Brotherhood of Steel's arrival. You know, we all brought scrap to Russell Dorsey so we could build up Fort Atlas. So I'm guessing, from the tone of it, and we'll have a look a bit more in a moment as well, that it's going to be along those lines again, which is very, very cool, and hopefully leading into some bigger Zayton-themed stuff, or something along those lines. But they're talking here about an Appalachian myth, so maybe it'll have something to do with the Flatwoods monster. That's also a possibility. That would be very, very interesting. It's one of the most mysterious of the cryptids at the moment, so who knows, maybe it'll have something to do with that. That would be very, very cool. And one last feature that is long, long awaited, Camp Pets. So this was rumoured, and we saw first hints of it through emotes that briefly appeared on the Atomic Shop. God, it must be about a year ago now. And we heard a little bit about it again at the back end of last year, but nothing much since. So it looks like we're going to have to wait another 9-10 months before that actually lands, but we're finally getting pets in our camp as well. It'll be interesting to see how that manifests. I imagine it works somewhat similar to the ally system, but pets are coming. It's something to look forward to. I'd imagine that's got bumped back less because of challenges, more because they want to focus on the big stuff, which that's my guess. It seems logical, seems likely, but nonetheless, very cool to know that is on the horizon, albeit in the dim distance. So, something to look forward to there. Right, let's have a little look at the text of this now. Okay, so over the years we've made a lot of changes and additions to Fallout 76 to continually improve your experience, and 2021 is no different. Very, very true. We continue to build on to Fallout 76 and introduce all new ways to play. Here's what to expect this year. So, Spring, as we've already covered, Locked and Loaded update. Get Locked and Loaded by the Spring update, introducing special loadouts, camp slots, mannequins, and all new daily ops expansion. This update is just loaded with new features to explore. For a deeper look at new features, check out Inside the Vault article here. I will, of course, link this Inside the Vault with the roadmap down below, so you can get at the links that way as well. And, of course, as I said, hit that little eye in the corner. You'll get links to all the recent videos on the upcoming content, so well worth a look. Can't wait to see the new features yourself. Players who own Fallout 76 on the Bethesda Net launcher can test out all these new features and more in our current iteration of the PTS right now. So there's a number of little bits and pieces sort of behind the scenes that they've not mentioned as well, so quality of life adjustments. They're making adjustments to melee combat as well, hopefully tightening that up, tuning it up so it's more responsive, more reliable, that sort of thing. So that's all on the PTS as well as, crafting sliders, things like that. So worth having a look if you're playing on PC via Bethesda Net. Additionally, we hope you haven't packed away all your snow gear just yet, as Armor Ace returns, this time in a fierce battle against Commissioner Chaos and the Yukon 5. Season 4 brings all new rewards to the scoreboard, from cosmetics and consumables and everything in between. Yeah, Season 4 looking really, really cool. Looking forward to diving into that. It looks like a battle set in Canada, which is why the snow theme rather than a winter one. But yeah, very cool. A lot of cool rewards. Also did a video on that. Definitely going to link that as well. So do check it out if you want to see what cool rewards we've got coming up in the next season. And it looks like it's going to be a return to good form. So very cool. So a little more detail on the upcoming stuff that's far more interesting. Last year we met the Appalachian Brotherhood of Steel, witnessed a conflict within the ranks, and discovered new obstacles in their path. Steel Rain concludes the Brotherhood story, introducing all new quests, locations, NPCs, and powerful new rewards. Whose side will you take? Your choices will change the wasteland. So, choices will change the wasteland. That's interesting. I'm guessing this will be character tied rather than anything else, because obviously one person's choices knocking onto somebody else's playthrough is not what you want. So maybe the two factions that are kind of forming within the Brotherhood will have their own separate locations and headquarters, and you won't be welcome in the one that you side against. Something like that seems likely. Or it's possible that it might be destroyed and you only see a ruin if you're playing on a character that side with the other side, vice versa. Or it might just be that the occupants of the interior of Fort Atlas might be different, because obviously that's an instance location. So if you side with one person or the other, you might find that when you head inside Fort Atlas, you meet a different set of characters and a different scenario. But it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Changing a wasteland does imply external to a location like Fort Atlas, but it could also be a bit of marketing speak as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, looking forward to diving back into the Brotherhood questline and exploring that, seeing how it goes. Fingers crossed it's going to be a little bit more substantial than the initial introduction was. It's anybody's guess at this stage as to whether or not that will be the case. But I've no doubt Bethesda have heard the observations regarding the length of Steel Dawn, so who knows, maybe they'll have taken that on board. Would explain the delay a little bit as well, so who knows, we'll have to wait and see on that, I guess. Fingers crossed. To survive the wasteland, you'll need good gear. This summer, craft specific legendary items using legendary modules. So, yep, it looks like the new legendary crafting thing is going to basically continue the current format that exists with the stuff you buy from with gold bullion. And then you'll be able to craft specific items with legendary and limit the number of rolls you get, or the RNG a little bit. So, very, very cool on that. Tailor your build to perfect your playstyle. Okay. So, yeah, very, very cool. One thing that I'll note is conspicuous by its absence here, however, is expeditions. Something that we're talking about last year. It was on last year's roadmap, and we've not heard anything since back into the autumn, beginning of the winter, really. The idea that was mooted around at the time was that it would be missions that, or it was a concept that there would be missions that get you outside the existing map for a specific mission, so you can explore new locations, head off to possibly old locations from previous games. There was supposed to be a bit of fan service in there and stuff as well. But at the same time, we've not heard anything since, and there's nothing mentioned here, which it might be the case that this emerges during the Steel Reign, because we thought it was going to be Brotherhood tied, but a lot of linking the expeditions and those mission types together is speculation. It's not something Bethesda has said hard and fast. And as I say, it's conspicuous by its absence, so it's possible that might not be coming, which would be sad. Definitely a question for the AMA, I think. We'd love to hear whether or not that's coming. Obviously, the AMA is tomorrow, so I will probably be covering that tomorrow. But hopefully we'll get some feedback on that. It may be shelved, it may be pushed back and reiterated on and come out in a new form with expeditions, or who knows, it may not happen at all. But cross our fingers for good news, and it's just not squeezed into this article. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, in the autumn, the shortest section here is the Winds of Change are coming with an evolution of private worlds. Stay tuned to future Inside the Vault articles for more information as we get closer to release. We're also bringing another expansion to Daily Ops to bring you even more ways to play. So, yeah, new expansions to Daily Ops, always welcome. Variety is the spice of life and all that. My guess as to why they're not sharing a lot of details here is that changes are not absolutely set in stone. They expect them to be ready by the autumn, but they want to leave themselves some wiggle room just in case it doesn't happen. Obviously, the last year or so has been a spectacular example of Life, the Universe, and everything not cooperating with the plan, and they're probably hedging their bets a little bit, as they're not absolutely set in stone and certain they're going to be able to do it. So that's my guess on why it's a bit quiet here. So, in the winter, we have a few more details. Obviously, the winter is far off, and there's a lot of time and space there. It could be anywhere from sort of November through to, well, March, basically, is what Bethesda considers the winter, which is reasonable, I suppose. So, this stuff could appear anywhere in that sort of window, so a little bit more detail. They can probably be a bit more confident in saying that, I think. Perhaps it's not as challenging to put together as well. So, you're already a legend in the Wasteland, but are you truly legendary? Gear up with all new 4-star legendary weapons and armor. Yep, as covered. Then, after you spent a long day foraging in the Wasteland, come home to your very own camp pets. Yes, I know a lot of people will be excited for that. Very, very cool. If nothing else, those who love the photo mode are going to be all over that. Face off against all new dangers with an out-of-this-world event. Public challenge, Invaders from Beyond will unite everyone across the server to compete in challenges, face off against all new foes, and earn some stellar new rewards. So, always welcome, new rewards, new items, very, very cool, new things to work towards. And yeah, from the sound of it, either a Flatwoods monster or a Zayton, or maybe both. Who knows, maybe it's some kind of Zayton scout. Maybe both of those things will come together in a very, very cool new theme. So far it's a public challenge that's listed on here as a new event. And I guess the new season that is due then, which will be season 7 by then, crikey, will include that and have that kind of a theme, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully there'll be a bit more going on with that. There'll be a story update, because there don't seem to be a lot of details on a story update here, which is, now that I'm looking at it, a little bit, not ideal. We'd like to hear at least a tone of it, you know, here's the title of what the next story update will be nice to have here. But on the other hand, it's quite some time off, and they'll be focusing on the summer and the autumn stuff first, so maybe by the end of the summer and the end of Steel Rain, that's when we'll start hearing about what the next story beat will be. So, interested to see what that's going to be. And coming up towards the end here, we have the Cultists of Appalachia are up to something sinister in a brand new seasonal event, The Ritual. So, as I said, this looks like a new Halloween event. Help the cultists in Point Pleasant prepare an exciting and dangerous ritual, and they will repay you with unique rewards. So as I say, this sounds like a new Halloween event, and themed around the Mothman cultists, which is cool, because up until now they just pop up and attack you. Like, they're not that dissimilar to Blood Eagles, really. They just have a different style and theme, and you can occasionally encounter the Mothman around their locations. But having a bit more of an interesting interaction with them, rather than just purely killing them off, is interesting, particularly those who would like to roleplay a Mothman cultist themselves at some point might find this appealing. So it'd be interesting to see the other side of that. Still waiting for my mole miner themed stuff so we can get into the lore and the society and stuff of mole miners and their history and stuff. I would be interested in that, but for now, cultists, definitely welcome. Very, very cool. So, last but not least on this long ramble, incoming developer AMA. So they did this about this time last year. They didn't ask me anything on Reddit. It was their first ever one, at least for 76. Anyway, so they're going to be doing another one tomorrow. With the introduction of our 2021 roadmap, we're sure you're just brimming with questions. Yep, makes sense. Good timing, all in favour. Head over to 76 subreddit tomorrow, link to that there, on March 23rd at 11:30 AM Eastern Daytime to participate in our second official Ask Me Anything. So that will be about 4:30, I think, UK time. Let's double check that for you. It's 3:30 apparently, so it'll be about 3:30 in the afternoon. My mistake, sorry. So they are 4 hours behind us in the UK, so that's where that one is. And obviously running through to 1 o'clock. Worthwhile point, the more people are involved, the harder it'll be to get your questions answered. There are only 2 of them doing it, and they've got an hour and a half on this, so we'll have to see how it goes, but that will be worth bearing in mind. But yeah, obviously I will cover that tomorrow, dive in there and pull out as much information on it as I can, and expect a video on that tomorrow. So news absolutely pouring in for Fallout 76 at the moment. So yeah, very, very cool. Lots of interesting stuff, lots of fascinating things coming on, loads of stuff for the Brotherhood of Steel, new seasons, new legendary gear, new high-level legendary gear to work towards to up that power level, and hopefully that means suitable challenges coming with it as well, definitely. And a new interesting theme coming around in the autumn as well, well, the winter rather, for this Out of This World theme, which looks cool. We've got new seasons, there's so much here that I'm really excited to get my hands on. Obviously, the next update coming next month alone is really, really cool. It's got a lot of amazing features. Legendary crafting, legendary power armor. My god, that's... I wouldn't have said never say never would be my line on that, I think. So, but yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. But, you know, hopefully that'll include new legendary effect styles, because that would make sense for power armor. That would be very, very cool. Yeah, new seasonal event should be cool, and hopefully a rework to private worlds to make them more worthwhile, more valuable, and more interesting is also going to be very, very cool as well. So yeah, lots of things I'm very excited for there. Love to hear your thoughts down below, so do let me know in the comments what you think about this, what you're excited for, all that good stuff. I know I cannot wait to get stuck into this, so expect plenty more news videos and updates, and as always, I will keep you posted on it. So do watch the space on that. If you haven't already, that shiny little sub button will keep you informed, as will the notification bell. Speaking of, massive thank you to you all for getting us past the 10,000 mark last weekend, which is absolutely awesome and mind-blowing. I did a little summary recap video on that if you haven't seen it already. It's interesting to look back over everything, so massive thank you all for that. It's, wow, a big milestone, that one, so that's very, very cool. Obviously, due to this unexpected curveball, no stream this evening, but we will be resuming that tomorrow night. We'll be jumping back into Fallout, playing around, chasing down some more upgrades for my main character, I suspect, ahead of the next season and the next update. So that should be very, very cool. As usual, social media links down below as well, along with the merch store and channel memberships on the shiny blue button. If you are interested in supporting the channel that way, it makes a massive difference and is hugely appreciated. So thank you very much to all of you who have done that already. And yeah, very, very excited for all this. So thank you very much for watching. High five if you made it to the end of the video. Good work. And yeah, watch this space. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.